Hey everybody, happy March, all things considered. Welcome to the March Northernlion channel update. That honestly, time kind of got away from me. I did an update in January, obviously, that talked about the new directions we're going in on the channel. And in February, I kind of doubled down on that and talked about the launch of Check the Wire, the podcast that Dan and I have been running for the past month and a half or so. But in March, I was like, what is there to talk about? And then I took out a pen and a pad here, started writing stuff down, and I was like, you know what? I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about here. So in this video, we're going to talk about the end of Stoneshard, how Stoneshard went in general, what we'll be doing next. We're going to announce some subscriber milestones. I've been kind of hinting at subscriber milestones. I've made some tweets about it. Basically, little tiny breadcrumbs, incentives, etc., videos and series that I'll be doing once we hit certain thresholds for subscribers, just to kind of, keep people excited about where the channel's going in the future, and finally knock out some projects that people have been asking for a long time. We'll talk a little bit about Check the Wire. We'll talk a little bit about the fact that I've been in the comments again for the first time in 3 years, and just generally speaking, I guess, analytics, where we're looking at for March and where we're hoping to be for April. And, sit back, relax, grab a snack, put me up on your right monitor, Animal Crossing on the left monitor, quote-unquote work from home on the center monitor, and let's get into it. So Stoneshard is ending, or perhaps even, I don't think it's ended by the time that this video will go out, but I think it should be ending within a couple of days after that. We did, as far as I can tell, it's a little early access jank. I can't really tell if we're done, but none of the people left in the towns seem to have any contracts, so I think we're done. And I'm really glad that we played through all the content in Stoneshard, or at least as much of it as I could readily find. I had a great time playing the game, and I appreciate the support on it from a views standpoint. The community was super positive though. That's the main thing I want to say. It was a really, really hard game to learn. But once we kind of cracked through the shell of the nut, which is a phrase that I wish I hadn't said. But once we cracked through the shell of the nut and we got to the delicious almonds inside, I had a great time. And we will, people have been asking, are you going to do more Stoneshard? Yes, but I'm not going to do it right away. I think I could play through the whole game when it leaves early access, which might not be for over a year. I honestly don't know what the timeline of the game's release is like, but it might be a while, but I'm not intending on doing any more of it for the time being. But hopefully the skills stay locked in the brain, because I will 100% come back when it's out of early access. I think it's one of 2020's best games so far. Definitely, the bones of it are good. It's like an old house, the foundation and the framing is fine. The fixtures need a little bit of work. The furniture and interior decoration obviously need a little bit of dressing, but it's got a good skeleton. So I'm excited for more of that. What we're going to play next is, well, we've been really blessed, honestly, especially on Northernlion tries over the past 2 weeks. There's been a lot of really good games. One Step from Eden, I genuinely think, is going to be one of the most beloved games of the year for the people that enjoy the mechanics that are present there. Exit the Gungeon, I think it seems... Look, it has a bit of a muted reception on Steam, mixed, to be honest. But for somebody that's into Gungeon, I definitely want to play more of that. So, along with some other stuff, Skull the Hero Slayer was a lot of fun. The Escaper was a ton of fun. There's a lot of stuff right now I'm kind of spoiled for choice, and I want to play more of. So the first thing I'll say is that in that Stoneshard slot, at least for a bit, we're going to do Exit the Gungeon. But my plan is, and this is going to loop back later in the channel update here, my plan is, Stoneshard was great, but it was a little longer than I want for that slot. You know what I mean? I would much rather keep that. It doesn't have to be week, because sometimes a week is not even enough time to really get into the game and figure out what's going on. But really, I'd like to keep that churning a little bit more. I'd like to maybe do 10 days of something, then 10 days of something else, then 10 days of something else to really get fresh content coming all the time. It helps me stay motivated because, those first few videos, it's really easy to kind of bring the entertainment value while you're still learning. And I think it's always nice to have more variety on the channel as well. So, things right now, Exit the Gungeon's going to get some play. After that, probably maybe one of those games that I talked about. One Step from Eden, maybe The Escaper, Skull. There's a lot of great stuff that's come out recently. So that slot, look to that to be new stuff and then be refreshed maybe a little bit faster. So apart from that, let's talk subscriber milestones. We've kind of tongue-in-cheek been talking about, hey, let's really make a push to get 1 million subscribers in 2020. And I talked about it on Check the Wire with Dan, but it really is, it's just like an ego thing, to be honest. It's not like, oh, I want 1 million subscribers because that'll make me feel like I'm a big shot or something. But I am, internally, there's definitely a level of like, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm very thankful for the community I have, but at the same time, I don't want to get complacent. I want to make sure that I'm still making content that people want to see. Content that people that are already here want to see, for sure. Like, that's my number one commitment by far. As you can tell from the fact that we're still making Isaac episodes in 2020 and the DLC is barely even on the horizon. But also content that new people might see. They might come to the channel and be like, this guy, he's got a sense of humor that resonates with me, or he's got a good demeanor that resonates with me. And as a result, they get hooked up to the IV. Before you know it, they're on the subreddit going, you missed a tinted rock, right? So that is... we've kind of been pushing towards that. I don't really care if we hit 1 million subscribers this year. I don't really care, if it takes us 25 years to hit 1 million subscribers. I'm looking at this as a long-term sort of thing, but I constantly want to keep doubling down on trying to push those numbers. Again, not for ego necessarily, but just to, I treat the analytics as do people like watching this? It is nice when you have a series that maybe does, GeoGuessr is a great example. The numbers on GeoGuessr are not blowing the doors off, but the comments and the community feedback on GeoGuessr is I love this, and when it's gone, people miss it. They're getting up in my mentions and being where is this? Please don't cancel it. GeoGuessr is fun and easy to do. I love working with Sinvicta. It's not going anywhere. But with the, some of the other slots on the channel, we can start putting in a little bit of effort, a little bit of set dressing maybe to keep pushing that. So that's where the subscriber milestone stuff comes. So this is an opportunity for a couple of things. One, for me to encourage you, if you're watching and you're not already subscribed, to subscribe. About 17%. I know this is right offhand because Dan and I were talking about it on the podcast yesterday that'll go up on Tuesday. Around 17% of the people that watch my content are not subscribed. You don't have to subscribe. I'm not going to coerce you, but I am going to encourage you. So we're at 811, 812 right now. When we hit 815,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a little bit more Smash Bros. Content on YouTube. Maybe one video, maybe 3 videos. Just a little nugget to say thank you for that. 820. This is serious, by the way. If we hit all these milestones in a day, we're putting it into the production queue. 820, we're going to do a Doki Doki Literature Club playthrough. I've heard a lot of people be like, that's going to be cringe. Okay, it's going to be cringe. We're going to do it anyway. And 825, we're going to bring back Split or Steal for a video or two or a little mini series. So the way that I'm looking, and I got a bunch more here. 850, a tier list ranking every Isaac item. I know you're that's going to take 6 hours. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Honestly, I'm in it. I'm locked in. But for now, I'm not going to announce the other stuff that's on the list. I'll dole it out kind of piecemeal as we get within striking range, because it's not like we're gaining 5,000 subscribers a day. We're moving at a slower pace, so I can afford to dish it out a little bit by a little bit. But basically the 5, 815, 825, 835, those are shorter one-off or maybe 2 or 3 videos sort of things. And then the ones that are at the 10s, 810, which I guess we didn't have one for 810 because we passed it before I made the list, but 820, 830, 840, those are mini series, maybe 5 episodes, maybe 10 episodes, somewhere in that range. And then the 50s are this is a big, by my standards, a big project. Ranking every item in the Binding of Isaac, for example. So that's where I'm at for now. What do you have to do if you're watching? Honestly, if you're already subscribed, you're good. Obviously I'm not encouraging you to go out and make multiple accounts or whatever. In fact, please don't. But if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, subscribe. I'm trying to give you a little bit of an extra incentive. And also, this is 100% an ego play, but click the bell. Dan and I were looking at our demographics and analytics. Average amount for a YouTube channel of subscribers that have clicked the bell, 10 to 30%, I'm sitting at 6. Look, that's not, I understand why you wouldn't want to click the bell. You're going to feel like you live in Hector Salamanca's house. Ding, 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 ding. I'm putting out a lot of content. But it would make my dopamine release a little bit more if people click the bell as well. But most importantly, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We got a schedule for all sorts of cool content. My intention, I've got 815 to 850 drafted up. Once we get within striking range of 850, we'll work up 850 to 900, which again, it could take us a year and a half to get from 850 to 900. That's okay. But I'm planning on doing it. I'm in this for the long haul. I think this is a cool opportunity for me to play things that people have requested for a long time and simultaneously kind of like make it work for me as well, to be quite frank. Check the Wire. Check the Wire is going super well. Thank you for all the support on it, all the comments. I read the comments on Check the Wire 100%. Lots of people are saying amazing stuff. Hey, I enjoy this. Hey, this has inspired me to start working on a project, blah, blah, blah. That's the idea, basically. Of course, when it does well numbers-wise, that's fantastic as well. And, early on we did have, we ranked really high on the charts for gaming podcasts, which is funny because it's only tangentially related to gaming, and leisure podcasts, which is funny because it's about work kind of. But I'm glad you guys are enjoying that. It's really like a passion project for Dan and myself. And hey, if you're watching it, keep watching it. If you have not started watching it, give it a try when the new episode comes out on Tuesday, or watch the last episode. On the last episode, we answered one of the most common questions that we get as established content creators, which is like, if you could only choose one, would you choose Twitch or YouTube? And then this week, again, we're going over all sorts of cool stuff, like, comparing our demographics, see who has like an older audience, what the gender split is for each of us and stuff like that. Just stuff that people have wanted to peek behind the curtain and take a look at for a while. At the same time, I understand if you're like, this podcast isn't for me, because it is kind of, it's very inside baseball for one. And if you're angling for something that's like purely entertainment, Check the Wire might not necessarily tickle your fancy. I think we got a good banter and chemistry between us, and, we crack jokes occasionally during the podcast and talk about interesting things. But it's definitely not just like it's not a comedy podcast. It's not like a gaming podcast where we talk about current events or like what we're enjoying playing recently. So I understand. I don't expect from a numbers standpoint that that's going to become like the most popular thing on my channel. All I can ask for is what we already have, which is a dedicated base of people that like watching it. And hey, I'm not sweating the numbers, especially on the YouTube side, because we have the audio only side as well. And if you're listening on audio only, I love that as well. I was talking about it to Dan, but like the views, literally, they don't mean very much to me on Check the Wire. Let's rephrase that, because it sounds like I'm like, I don't care if you watch. I care that you watch, and if you're already watching, I care a lot. But if you choose to listen instead of watch, that's fine by me, because I really have like no presence on audio only platforms. So to have like a little project, or well, not a little project, but a project that's just getting started on an audio only platform, that's like it's worth it in and of itself for me. So we've only got 2 more things here. It's actually a little bit of a shorter channel update, which is rare but good. One is that I am back in the comments. It's been I've been like replying to more people on Reddit. I've been replying to, not DMs, because I don't leave my DMs open because I'm not insane. But like when people email me and stuff like that, I've been trying to get better about replying. There is a limited amount of time in the day, but now I take like 15 minutes, half an hour, and I like, even for Isaacs, not every Isaac, but a lot of Isaacs, I've been opening up the comments. I'll read, like a few dozen, reply to a couple, heart a couple, say thank you and stuff like that. So it's just, I know it feels good, because I tweet people as well that I, enjoy the work of. And even when they just hit me with a heart, I'm like, oh, this is like a nice little neurotransmitter release, right? And on top of that, I think it fosters a better community, so I can get into the comments, and when someone's being rude or weird, I can be like, well, there's a real weird champ energy coming off of this. And if someone's being nice, I can be like, thank you so much for your niceness. And if someone is dropping like really useful feedback for a game, or even feedback on the video, hey, I liked what you did here, I didn't like what you did here, I can read it and digest it and be like, okay, we're going to use that to make the content better in the future. So, just look for me in the comments. It's not, I wish I could structure my day so that when a video goes live, I'm in the comments within like the first hour. Right now, it's not in the cards. Usually like at the end of the day, maybe like 10 or 11 p.m., I'll boot up all the videos that I did that day and respond to some comments. But if you got notifications on, you might see, hey, Northernlion hearted one of your posts, or Northernlion replied to one of your posts. You might even see Northernlion sharded one of your posts. That's the kind of energy we're bringing into 2020, and I want you to know, don't think your comment is not being read. There was a long time where that was probably the case, at least not being read by me. Now, I'm reading them. So A, be on your best behavior, and B, don't think your compliments are falling on deaf ears. And just the last thing to wrap it up, how has March been from an analytics standpoint? It's been fine. You know, in 2020, I mean, really like in January, I acknowledged that for like 2019, 2018, I thought we made a lot of good content. Don't get me wrong. But creatively, I was in kind of a rut. I was making Isaac. I was making Slay the Spire. I was doing one other series daily. And for the most part, like trying daily to make good content, but not really stepping outside of the box of what the kind of content I decided was for me to make. So in January and December, we had like a huge burst of creative energy. We were making a lot of like new content, tier list, meme videos, ranking videos, stuff like that. Tutty was the brainchild of that. Golden Goblet was the brainchild of that. That all came out of that like 6-week period where we had like a big burst of productivity. In February, we brought a lot of that as well. And in March, I think honestly part of it is that we did Stoneshard for like 4 weeks basically. And it kind of... the creative energy dipped a little bit. And I think I just acknowledged that that's the way that the waves go in content creation, you know? And probably with any kind of thing where you're self-motivated, you're not always going to have, 10 out of 10 rocket fuel energy for new ideas and stuff like that. It's enough to just bring a good energy to the videos that you're recording and get your job done in the first place. But then on top of that, I looked at my analytics for February and March, and I was like, March is not down, but going up more slowly. And I was like, you know what? You could get disheartened by that because I've still been working hard, or you can take that as a sign that, you know what, it's time to like just tweak on the fly a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm treating the channel much more like a garden than like a steamship. Like in 2018, this channel was a steamship. Had a lot of inertia, a lot of momentum. To get it to change directions even slightly, it took a long time. It took a lot of energy. You had to shovel a lot of coal into the engine, right? It was very stubborn. Now in 2020, because I'm looking at it much more frequently, I can be like, okay, this is working, this isn't, this is working but could be working better, this isn't working but with a little bit of help it could really rise to the next level. So we're doing stuff like that on the fly. So, for the rest of March and for April, I would look towards seeing a little bit of new stuff. Like I'm going to be doing a tier list soon of Smash Bros characters, which is not necessarily new stuff, but that's to, A, I think it'll be funny because I don't know who half the characters are despite having a history in the game. And B, I can be like, hey, if you like this video, subscribe and we'll play a little bit more Smash Bros, etc., etc. Just trying out new stuff and keeping the juices flowing, because really like... I'm recording a lot. I'm recording a lot of videos. I'm streaming a lot. I'm really quite busy. But the best way to try new things, in my opinion at least, is just to do them. You get a dumb idea that pops into your head. Give it a try. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, well, you wasted maybe like a couple of hours. A lot of people are still going to enjoy it, and you learned something. You bettered your skills, etc., etc. So again, I'll echo what I said mostly in January. Thanks for being along for the ride, being enthusiastic, having patience, and thanks for your support. I appreciate it a great deal. March has been fun. I'm looking forward to April, looking forward to the rest of the year. Got some exciting announcements coming out soon, and yeah, we'll see you. I'll see you in probably like you'll watch a video right after this, so I'll see you then. But like apart from that, I'll see you in April. Hopefully. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I see you. I see you on the analytics side. I see you. But also, see ya. See ya.